Hey guys, and thanks for coming to hang out with me. We are going to continue on this relationships series. Okay, so we've talked about general relationships, we've talked about dating. So today we're going to talk about when things go wrong. Dun, dun, dun. So we date, we find somebody we really enjoy and we really like, and hopefully adds value to our lives. And then we take it to the next step, right? We want to be exclusive with this person. Sometimes so much so that you even get married, or move in together. Now, with the whole marriage thing, okay, like I'm slightly biased because we'll get into that some other time, but yeah, it's marriage is rough, man. Like, you have to, under the best circumstances, it's work, right? You really have to put in time and energy and effort, and you have to really want to be committed to this person. There are reasons to get married, and there are reasons not to get married. This is not against marriage. This is about married for a reason other than two people who are so in love that they want to show this commitment to each other, to the world, to whatever. Reasons not to get married, it would be because you have outside pressure, or because you think it's the next step, or even you have kids. Marriage is a legally binding contract. You are entwining not just yourselves in as far as commitment goes, but you are entwining every single part of your life with this other person. So if you are not 125% sure that you want to be literally legally one with this person, don't get married. Because it takes so much to untie that knot. So just putting it out there, just a little heads up. Like I said, we'll get into marriage, divorce, all that stuff in a later video, but just a little forewarning. Okay, so I looked at yourtango.com, which gives some reasons that women have said they've broken up with men or would break up with men. One being he's moody. Two being, sorry guys, the sex is bad. 3 being bad communication skills. 4 being he thinks he's a mind reader. He knows all your intentions without really communicating or asking you. He has a frat boy mentality. He is not honest, or he's a workaholic. He treats the girl differently around his friends. He does not listen, and he acts secretive or defensive. Men's Health also gives their reasonings. They've said women will break up with men or have broken up with a guy before. So you've got cheating. It's a big one. You don't make eye contact. I'll go into that in more detail. Trying to fix everything. You only text. Not asking questions. Or getting involved in situations that would probably warrant your involvement. Letting her decide everything. Ignoring your honey-do list. Leaving the toilet seat up, which I'll talk to you about that too. You don't publicly have her photo at work. You lack dependability. You tune her out or ignore her comments. You stay silent during fights. You're always late. You don't laugh at her jokes. You never say I'm sorry, and you leave the dishes and laundry and stuff for her to always do. Okay, so out of all these things, I found that there are a basic handful of building blocks or core values that this all really trickles down into and stems down into. When we're talking about you being moody or poor communication skills, or you think you know all the girl feels like you know all her intentions without talking to her first, or you don't listen, or you're secretive or defensive. It really all boils down to what we perceive as your level of emotional intelligence. So as we grow and go through experiences and deal with emotions, we should use these things to learn and thus to build our level of emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence literally means the ability or capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. So, and with empathy. Under the umbrella of emotional intelligence is the capability to recognize one's own emotions and the emotions of others, to be able to discern between different feelings and label them appropriately, use emotional info to guide behaviors, and manage and or adjust emotions to adapt to environments or achieve one's goals. I had to read that word for it because I didn't want to mess it up. So the four main categories of emotional intelligence are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So guys, when you go silent during a fight, right, or an argument, it's not the silence that gets us. It's that you are lacking both the communication skills that most women need, as well as the it is not worth having this conversation when it obviously is to us, because we're having this conversation. You got that? So we want to make the situation better. We want to grow as a couple, right? So most of this stuff is going to come down to us feeling invalidated and us feeling like there's a lack of respect. When you don't listen, right? Or we think you're not listening. And actually actively listening, not just hearing, but like actively listening. It's another issue of respect and validation. Like what we're saying is not important to you. When you seem overtly and consistently moody, it's another sign of poor communication, lack of self-awareness, or lack of empathy, that you don't care the way you're coming across. A lack of being able to be vulnerable because you're not having the conversation with us to be able to have figure out what's really bothering you or what's really going on. When you seem defensive or secretive, again, it begs the question of respect and vulnerability and trust in the relationship and communication skills. When you cheat, it's obvious to us. It's an issue of respect and valuing us as a person, as a significant other, valuing the relationship, and having enough self-control and self-awareness over yourself to say, no to something that might be slightly tempting at the moment, but you know that that's not really what you want. And if it is really what you want, then obviously you're just stringing us along, and it's, you have no respect for us, and we see that. So there's those things. When you do things as seemingly mundane, like leave the toilet seat up consistently, or leave the dishes or the laundry consistently, no matter how many times she's asked you to help out, or you should help out and do a little bit more, but you're just really not. It's coming down to respect and consideration and empathy and self-awareness and communication. A lot of seemingly mundane reasons to break up, other than being incompatible, or obviously cheating or abuse issues, at the core stem from these basic building blocks of emotional intelligence. Okay, so now on the flip side of that, also looking at the same website, yourtango.com, I looked at reasons that men say that they have broken up with a woman, or would break up with a woman. One of them being women don't listen. By that they mean like truly listen, value their opinions before they just kind of like cut them off and say, no, you're wrong. Women listen to their friends too much. They give too much power and credence to single friends. The guys don't want to hear like, oh, well, Sarah says that you're to this or you're to that, when like Sarah's out partying all the time anyways. Men don't want women to let their family interfere too much in the relationship. So they want to date you. Like, yes, that's a package. It comes with you in a lot of situations, but they're dating you. They're not dating your mom. They're not dating your sister or whatever. Like, you got that? So just, they don't want you to bring in your family or have your family create drama that is in a situation that's supposed to be between you two. They feel they don't want to feel like they're not being trusted, like everything is a game of 20 questions. They've said that they are not into a woman with either too much independence or too much dependence. So go figure that one out. That's a little interesting. There's not enough positive reinforcement from women. They continue to harp on what you're doing wrong instead of what the guy's doing correctly or trying to improve. They are consistently bringing down the guy's friends, or they're continuing at past mistakes. They're not finished playing the field, plain and simple. They're not in love with you, plain and simple. They're on the opposite side. They are too into you, and that scares them. And then, according to the website loveisagame.com, men have stated that they will leave if there is more pain than pleasure in a relationship, meaning there's more arguments or nagging than there is good times or positive reinforcement, which, makes sense. I totally get that. Men have said that they will assume emotional future actions based on small reactions. So let's say, like, we'll go back to the dishes. Like, the guy leaves the dishes in the sink, and she freaks out and says, like, how come you can't ever clean up after yourself? What the heck? He will look at that and say, like, okay, if she's freaking out like this over some dishes, like, I don't know how she's going to be in 10 years if, like, we lose the house or something goes crazy. So they will pick these little reactions instead of maybe looking at the entirety of the situation or what she's really trying to get out of it, and use that as a baseline for possible future reactions, or just to say, hey, look, if she does this during this, then I'm assuming she would do this during this. They could also just say, hey, I've lost interest in you. I'm not as attracted to you anymore. Codependence seems to be a big one, as well as feeling like the woman is constantly trying to fix them. So looking at these reasons that men have stated that they have broken up with women or would break up with a woman, I really feel again that these are symptoms of bigger, broader core issues, and that's what we're going to hone in on.